Hey Jack Squad, how's everybody doing today? Hope all is well, and I hope you're making it happen for yourself. You gotta make it happen for yourself, guys. So anyway, y'all, I got a lot to say. But before I get started, I would like for you all to like, share, comment, subscribe. Drop down in the description box, and all of my social media is there, as well as my email and my Cash App. And if you want to donate to my channel, please do. It is greatly appreciated. I am trying to get us. I'm trying to get some stuff, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I want to get me a green screen. I want to get some more equipment, camera with some memory, all the stuff, right? So anyway, y'all, let me just say that I am so excited to talk to you guys today. I would have uploaded a video yesterday, but I'm so tired, right? Because I'm still trying to get my house together, right? Which means I gotta put all my clothes up, put all my toiletries everywhere, find space for all of my kitchen stuff. Like, I don't think I have enough space. So I'm gonna have to order shelves and do some stuff, y'all. But I'm getting it together though, y'all. But anyway, before we get started, let me say, welcome to all of my new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Jack Squad, okay? I am so grateful and so happy to have you guys, right? As you all know, I'm a new YouTuber. I think I've been doing it about 18 months now, somewhere around in there, right? I started during the pandemic. And I have been trying, but I just didn't have enough time to put my all into it because I got to work. You know, I'm writing a book. I moved. So I am so excited, guys. I'm so excited. Like I said, was trying to reach 2,000 subscribers, and I'm almost there. I am so excited. Thank you so much, guys. To all of my subscribers that have donated to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's rough. I'm built for it, y'all, but it's a little rough when it's just you, right? I'm so grateful and happy, like I told you guys before. My new subscribers, you don't know this, that I just moved 2 weeks ago. I do have a room where I can be in. I don't have to set up, move my cameras and my lights and stuff all around the house according to the lighting, right? So I'm so excited about that, y'all. I can go on and on and on, but just know that I am grateful for my new subscribers, and I am grateful for all of the monetary help, or a lot of times my subscribers send me emails about topics, or they send me information. I am grateful for that, okay, y'all? And so today we're going to talk about, now let me just say, new subscribers. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's what's going on in the world, right? I don't have a set agenda. I just talk about whatever I'm talking about, right? So today, because it's weighing heavy on me, it has been for a while, is we're going to talk about being in a narcissistic relationship. Now, narcissists can be either man or woman, but it's mostly men, right? Now, and the reason why this weighing so heavy on me, because I was in a relationship for over 10 years with a narcissistic man, and this will be in my book. The whole everything will be in my book, but I'm just going to speak briefly about it because that was a heavy period in my life, right? It was two-sided, and now I know why it was two-sided. So at any rate, I was in a relationship over 10 years with a man. Excuse me. He never put his hands on me, nothing like that, but it was the mind, right? And y'all excuse my nails. I had time to get them done. I may get them done today, may not, because I don't know. It's so many nail shops. I don't know where to go, and I prefer to go to a black girl. So anyway, like I said, over 10 years, and I did not know he was a narcissist, y'all, till last year. We've been broke up 4 or 5 years ago, right? And it explains, as I do my research, as I listen to other psychologists, therapists, pastors, people in general, I understand what I was going through now, right? I understand it, and I'm going to get to that. So let me just give you a description of the narcissist. Because one of the main things about a narcissist, which I never understood in my ex, I never understood it, was they have no empathy. They have no empathy. Can you imagine being in what you think is a loving relationship with an individual and they have no feelings? They have no feelings. And I know you all are sitting there saying, well, why would you be with somebody who doesn't have feelings, right? Now, let me give you what the description of a narcissist is. And also, narcissist has a spectrum. You know, they have a spectrum. They can go from here to here, right? And it depends on who they are. A narcissist is a person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. Now, it sounds like conceitedness, right? But it's bigger than that because there's some psychological stuff going on that they do, right? And narcissists think the world revolves around them. Now, imagine being in a relationship with an individual like that, right? And I did it for 10 years. And, you know, I was puzzled the whole 10 years. And I know you guys are saying, well, why would you be with somebody like that? I'm going to tell you why. I was a single mom. And I have 3 children. 2 of them were already grown. I still had my baby boy, right? And he was a teenager. Yeah, he was a teenager. And, you know, after you've been struggling, like I've struggled all my life. Now, to somebody looking on the outside, they may not have seen the struggle, right? Because I may make it look like there is no struggle. You know what I'm saying? But I struggled, right? I struggled. And so here comes a man who's going to give you everything in your dreams. For real. Like he came in, he was very overwhelming, and he came in like a storm, right? Now, what they call that, which I did not know until early this year, they call it love bombing, right? Look that up. It's a thing. And I remember I was going to work, and this lady I used to take care of was like, where y'all going today? What y'all gonna do today? Every day was like a holiday. So that you become consumed with that. It consumes you, right? You know, somebody treating you nice, giving you everything, especially when you've been struggling. Like I had a struggle, and I'll tell you about that in my book. But I had just overcome a huge obstacle, right? A huge obstacle. And it damn near took me out, y'all, mentally, right? I just wouldn't let it. I kept moving forward. This is why I tell y'all, make it happen for yourself. And even when you're going through something, just put my goal at that time when I was going through my struggle was just get up and move. Put one foot in front of the other. That's what I lived by for a few years, right? Just get up and do something. Just, you know, because depression will have you not wanting to get up. You don't want to sit in it. You don't want to lay in it. You don't want to wallow in it, right? So anyway, that's a whole other topic. But anyway, this guy, now let me tell you, he looked like I wanted him to look. He dressed like I wanted him to dress. And I thought we were on the same page with things, right? Narcissists, like I said, have no empathy. They cannot understand your pain, even if they caused it, right? Even if they caused it. So now, listen. They will cause you pain, and then while you're in pain, will sit there and look at you like you're crazy, like they don't know what happened. I'm telling you, it's the weirdest shit, y'all. It's the weirdest, right? They have an exaggerated sense of self. You know, they're preoccupied with themselves. I remember one time, there's a lot of episodes I go into in my book, but I remember one time he used to talk on the radio. He had a little segment on the radio, right? And we went to the radio station, and somebody was coming out, and they looked right at me and said, oh, I like your shoes. He said, thank you. Because I wasn't there. They couldn't have been talking to me. They was obviously talking to him. I thought that was weird, right? Like I said, empathy is impossible. And like I said, on the spectrum, they go from normal to pathological. Now, the individual that I was with, I'm going to say he was damn near pathological. Only because he was older than me. He knew what triggered. He knew how to do a lot of things. And I think I'm pretty cool, right? He knew how to trigger me. He knew how to reel me back in. And he was a street guy. So, you know, those are different than regular guys, right? And it says that, which I had figured out since then, now that I realized he was a narcissist, they say that this comes from early trauma, childhood trauma, most of the time. And I figured that because in his case, he come from a big family, and he was the middle child in the big family, right? And the dad didn't really pay him any much attention. He had a lot of older brothers. He had 2 younger sisters, but it was brothers behind. He was in the middle of the brothers. I think it was like, I don't know if it was 10, 11, 12, 13 of them. It was a double-digit number of them, right? And he was in the middle, so he oftentimes was overlooked, and that's what he told me himself, right? When the dad would come and get the boys, he was too young to hang out with them because they was older. And then, they had the 2 girls and the younger boys. He was too old to be around them, right? Now, when I was listening to someone that knows about this, and they said they need God and a therapist. And I knew that he needed God. Now, he said he believed in God, and I believed him as much as he could, right? But he didn't practice. And I went to church all the time. Every Sunday I was involved in my church, and I did a lot of stuff, right? Not one time. Well, I take that back. Once he did come to church. But this is towards the end where it didn't really matter. But if your woman was involved in something, I don't care what it is. I don't know if she's a race car driver, whatever she's involved in, you need to see about it at some point, right? He never did that. And at some point, you would think he would say, well, let me see what's going on over here. You got to be over here so much, right? He never did that, right? I remember one time, he didn't have a ride or something, and my car was in the driveway, in the parking lot of the church, right? And I was in there doing whatever. I don't know. I think I was in there doing something. But anyway, when I came outside, he was sitting in my car. Now, mind you, it was a hot day. He would rather sit in the car, in the sun, in the heat, no windows, just sitting in there, than to come into the church and get some air. He didn't even have to come in the sanctuary. He could have sat in the vestibule. He could have went down the basement. He could have did anything. Sat in the bathroom. He did not. Right then, y'all, I said, he's demonic. I said that to myself, right? Eventually, I would tell him that. He was like, I ain't no devil. He was demonic. Now, what I have learned is that narcissism is a form of a demon, right? They cannot reciprocate love. And this is what we battled with, right? All the time for those years. And I'm going to tell you why I was with him again. I didn't tell you guys. He was very good to me financially. Very good. I never had to, from day one, I never had to ask for anything. He was a real man, which is the kind of man I'm used to. They see what you need and they get it. You don't have to ask, you don't have to scheme, you don't have to trick, you don't have to do anything, right? He was real manly, which is what I was used to and I hadn't had in a while, right? I remember when we first met each other and I had a problem with my car and he called one of his friends, which he was good at, and say, where's such and such at, right? Went to that mechanic, and I was thinking to myself, he got out and talked to him. I was thinking, I ain't got no money to pay him, right? I remember calling my cousin real quick, like, what should I do? She was like, don't do nothing, he gonna handle it. Let's see if he take care of it. He went and came, and when he came back, he said, don't worry about it, I got it, right? That guy was my mechanic until I left Cleveland. He's still my mechanic now, I just live in another state. If I got a problem or something, I call him to see if the person that I'm dealing with is telling me the truth. That guy was my mechanic for 15 years. I was out of the relationship and he was still my mechanic, okay? And I have to say this, the friends that I met from him are still my friends. He was the rotten apple, right? And what they say is that they're playing a character. Like, I watched him. And when I look back over it, that's exactly what he was doing. He would morph into whatever he needed to be at that time, right? And I always knew something was wrong, and not always. I figured out something was wrong, and then I said to myself, he doesn't like himself. Now, since we've not been together, we've had a conversation or two, and he said, he would say it in a way. He would tell me when we first got together, you do more for me than I do for you. And I used to be like, what? All this stuff you doing? Because every day was like a holiday. Where you going? What you want? Shopping spree. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's do this. Let's do that. He even told me to quit my job, which I eventually did, right? I didn't work for about 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So somebody come into your life and treat you like that, it's a lot of shit you overlook. Right? And it was years went by before I realized I wanted to be in love. I was in love, but he wasn't. Okay? And he would say stuff like, don't worry about what I say, worry about what I do. since he was doing everything, don't worry about it, And like I said, he bought my house, right? And helped me put it together, okay? And continued to help me put it together. And so that's big, y'all. That's big. So this is why I said about Ariane, if he was doing something for you, if she had to just apologize and say, listen, he was doing this, and that, I'm a single mother, we would have understood. Anyway, it's not about her today, it's about me. Well, not about me, it's about the narcissistic man that I was with. Now, they do say narcissists can be women, right? And that's a bad combination if the two of them get together. But what they do, and which is what he did, he's textbook. Like when I researched this and I look into it, the things he did to me were textbook, right? And I think I'm pretty clever. But I wanted to be in love, right? They hover. And they especially do it around the holidays, right? When they're not with you. Now, let me tell you, I've had to block him. And I realized that last year that I was going to have to block him. And I'm going to tell you why. When I first got to Charlotte, he would call me and we'd talk. We could, but then it got more frequent. And I was like, no. What happened was I started realizing when I hung up from him, I would be angry. Not sad, angry, right? And I was angry because I felt like I wasted my time with him, okay? And I remember telling a few of my girlfriends that when I first broke up, and they said, well, look at all what you got. That's what everybody always said. Well, look at all what you got, what all he did, so on and so forth. And then I had a couple of friends who would be like, you got to let it go. So I forgave him. And I'm going to tell you how I forgave him. I was sitting in church one day, because forgiveness is hard for me, because if you do something to me, I feel like you meant to do it, right? Now, if you step on my foot or something like that, that's an excuse me, I'm sorry. That's I'm sorry. But if you viciously or purposely hurt me with your words or hurt me with your actions, I don't know how to get over that because I'm not that person, right? I've had my daughter and a couple of my friends say, well, everybody's not going to be like you. But if you hurt me and you did it intentionally, I don't know how to get over that, y'all. I just don't, right? I just don't. Like, that means you don't like me, right? So why would I get, how do you get over that, right? So I was sitting in church and I said, I'm going to call him. I'm going to forgive him. I struggled with that. I called him. I said, listen, don't talk. Just listen to me. I said what I had to say and I forgave him, right? Went on with my life, moved down to Charlotte. But it was after those phone calls that I realized, shit, I'm still angry with this dude, right? And it's not about I was in love with him because that was over. I got over him while he was still in the house. That's not what it was. I'm angry, right? And I blocked him. I've since learned that this is what you have to do with a narcissist. And I'm going to tell you why, right? It says here, they hover. Hover meaning they suck the life out of you. And this is exactly what he did, right? And with no regards to what I wanted to do. His life became my life, right? Now listen, y'all. I've been in the streets all my life. I know how to deal with people and everything. This here took me to a whole nother level that I didn't realize I was on until I had got into it, right? And that's because he was so good to me. So good to me that all the bad stuff, the good overshadowed the bad, right? And they suck the life out of you, right? And like I said, they are demonic. So whenever they come back, we would break up and he would come back. They did it all the time. And when he would come back, it would be worse than the time before, right? He would do something worse. Let me tell y'all this story. He had broke up. This was early on in the relationship, maybe a couple years in, 2, 3. And I was in love, right? Or in heavy like. I'm not even sure if I was in love, right? I don't even know if I've ever been in love. But I was in heavy like, right? I think I was in love. And I don't know if I was in love with him or in love with what he was doing for me, right? And he called me. Now, we broke up and he said, you want to go to such and such? And I'm like, yeah, because he never would say, I'm sorry or anything like that. He would just call me and you want to do this or what you need for this. And so I would go right with it, right? And he said we want to go. It was a hand dance. Like I'm from Cleveland, so they hand dance. Cleveland, Detroit, hand dance, right? Other areas don't do that, so y'all might not even know what I'm talking about. I think DC does it too, but we hand dance, right? And so it's a hand dance competition. So everybody gonna be there. They're gonna be suited and booted. They're gonna be dancing. It's gonna be ooh, right? All the players gonna be there. Everybody gonna be there, right? So I said, yeah, right? So I go get my nails done. I probably did whatever. Might have bought me an outfit. I don't know. I'm preparing to be with him, right? Child, we go to the event, and he acted like he didn't even know me. Acted like he didn't even know me. And then started talking to another woman all night, laughing and giggling with her. He don't even do that, right? That was so hurtful. Now, the old me, you know, and all this, I met him at a time when I was trying to change my life, right? Because I used to be very physical. You know, if you hurt me, I'm gonna hit you. Get ready, right? I was trying to change my life. So all that stuff I used to do and the way I resolved conflict, I was no longer doing, right? And that hurt me. Now, right then, I should have never talked to him again in life, right? Because that was hurtful. You invited me to something and then dogged me, right? And if you know me, you know that I don't even allow that, right? But that was this man, you know, this manly man, right? So anyway, that was just one episode. I can go on and on and on, and some of them will be in my book, right? So I, you know, like I said, once I got to Charlotte, I had a few conversations with him, and then I even told him because I felt that he needed to know, even though he doesn't have empathy, which I knew that, but I didn't know it was related to a disorder, because narcissism is a disorder, y'all. And I told him, I said, listen, I can't talk to you anymore. You know, I don't want to talk. And he was sending me money. He was sending me money through my friends because he didn't know how to cash app. So he was giving it to my friend and she would send it to me. And so I stopped taking money from him as well. But I blocked him. He's been blocked since just 2020, since maybe 2020, right? I can see when he calls me. I can see when he texts me. He still texts me. And I was watching a therapist the other day, and they said when the holidays come is when they really apply the pressure. And they never, just like I told him, he knows we're not together, of course. And just like I told him, you know, stop calling me, he still calls me. They said around the holidays is when they apply the pressure because they think you're vulnerable and you're lonely and you're alone. And so that's when they apply the pressure. Sure enough, the week of Christmas, he called me 3 times, right? Let me see, did he leave a message? I can't remember, but sometimes he leaves a message, but he called me 3 times, right? Now, why? You've been blocked well over a year. So when he couldn't get me, he told my girlfriend, you know, tell me hi. Now, I'm going to have to tell her, this is one of my best friends, that quit telling me stuff from him. I just want to block him all out because this is what the experts say to do, right? Even though I know I'm not going to get with him anymore, no, I don't love him, I don't like him, I ain't even attracted to him, right? But I just want him to know, you know, to go head on. And I remember one time we were talking and he said, I said, I know your family mad at you. This is when I first moved to Charlotte, and he said they're gonna be glad when they find out I done got you back. And I thought to myself, where did that come from, right? So that is one of the reasons what made me block him, because he's got some sort of expectations that is never gonna happen, you know. Again, not knowing he's a narcissist. I'm gonna tell y'all when I realized he was a narcissist. What was that guy's name who they found out was cheating on his woman? Derek Jackson. That's when I realized that he was a narcissist. I started looking into it because everybody was saying that's what he was. And I started looking into it. I've continued to look into it and research it and read about it. And it hurts me. Sometimes when I'm reading the information, it almost brings me to tears because I was with a person like this. He was textbook. He had all the signs, and I did not know. How come I did not know? So that's the reason why I'm talking about it, guys. Like if you're with somebody, man or woman, but mostly women need to know this. If you're with somebody and they're not showing you empathy, because he had a hard time with saying I love you. He would say, I show you that I love you. He did that for years. He knew I had abandonment issues, so whenever he felt like it, he would quit me and not tell me. You know, he just wouldn't answer the phone. I'd be like, what's going on? Like, what happened, right? I knew all his friends, I knew all his family. And I would pull up on him and, you know, he would say something weird to me. Let me tell y'all something. And I don't want to spoil it because a lot of this stuff I'm going to put in my book because y'all will be shocked, right? And my friends will be shocked that I put up with this shit. Even though, like I said, he never put his hands on me, but the mental abuse was there. And I endured it for financial gain, period. I endured it for financial gain. You know, I never had to worry about anything. For someone to go from worried about where I'm going to get this, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to pay this, do I got to go out here and catch a case, do some wrong shit, because I have, right? To somebody making life pleasurable for you, you don't want to let that go. I never had to worry about anything, right? Whatever he saw, he would take care of. He would call somebody to fix it. Or if, let's say I had a problem at the house and I would tell him, he'd be like, no, don't tell me what the problem is. Tell me how much it costs and what the dollar amount is, and I'll get it to you. Give me a couple days. That's how it ran. So I never worried about nothing. If he saw my hair was nappy or my nails weren't done or my feet, whatever, well, here, go do this today. It was like living in a dream. Like, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that, right? It was very, very good, and then it was very, very bad. And like I said, in my book, I would go into deep details because there are some things in there that are horrible, right? And I will tell you this. It took me years to realize this. We would go out and have a good time, right? Good time. I didn't drink, he didn't drink, but we like to dance and talk shit and have fun with the peoples, right? We would go out and have a good time, but before the night was out, he would end the good time. He would end the good time. An argument would ensue. An argument, and I could never figure that out. Like, what is wrong, right? Towards the end, and when I say the end, I mean the last 3 years or 4 years, 2 years, whatever, I just stopped talking to him. We're not gonna. I stopped going anywhere with him. He lived his life, I lived mine. But we're not gonna argue because I realized that he liked to argue, like big arguments, like hollering, screaming, like big arguments, right? I said, we're not gonna do that. Whatever I needed, he would put it on the dresser, on the table, whatever. We just not getting ready to do that, right? We eventually slept in separate rooms. I put him in the attic and I slept in my room. He was not really even allowed in my room, right? And it got to a point of, I don't like you and I don't want you breathing the same air as me, right? Like I said, I got over him. All the things you go through when you break up with a person, all those stages of grief, denial, anger, sadness. I went through all of that while he was in the home. I went through all of that while he was in the home. And like I said, I'll go through detail with that. But I didn't know, and I'm going to talk about this again, is that I was with a narcissist and did not know. And all the stuff he did to me and said to me is textbook, right? And it makes a whole lot of sense of why. It didn't matter what I did, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm a good girl. I'm a good woman. I'm a hell of a woman, right? It didn't matter what I did. He was never satisfied. Never satisfied. Never. And I couldn't figure it out. And then after, like I said, towards the end, I said, it's not me, it's him. I couldn't figure it out though. But I knew he was demonic because only the devil could act like that. I'll never forget, y'all, one day I was praying. He would come over, and I wouldn't answer the door. And this particular time, my son was there, my youngest son. And he was home from school or whatever, right? And I remember I was praying, right? Because his family would call me and tell me stuff he said and stuff. And, I was still wavering, right? And I remember one day I was praying, right, y'all? I was praying about this. And he was knocking on the door. I took that as a sign that God wanted me to be with him. So my son had already beat me to the door, and he was telling him, no, you can't come in. And I said, that's okay, let him in, right? This was after a real tragic breakup. I was like, no, let him in, right? I was telling a guy about this because when I prayed for him and then he appeared, right? When I first met him. And my friend told me, which I now know, this was years ago, that the devil will give you what you want as well. Damn. So how do you know who is who? You want to know how you know? When I meet a guy now, let me tell y'all this. That's why you got to have a relationship with God. When I meet a guy now, if I think I'm going to like him after a couple of days of talking to him or whatever, I ask God to show me a sign. I swear to God, y'all, this work. I ask God to show me a sign. And if it's not even 24 hours most of the time that the cover is pulled back and his true agenda is revealed, or the lies that he has told is revealed. I'm telling you now, y'all, because that weirded me out. When my friend told me that years ago, he was like, the devil will give you what you want to. Now, I've since learned that. This was like about 15 years ago when I first heard that, right? And I was like, damn, because I really thought he was a blessing from God. I thought he was a blessing from God. We're going to get married. Especially after he bought the house. His friends, his family was like, when y'all going to get married? When y'all going to get married? He never wanted to do that. And that's how I was with him 10 years. I don't suggest anybody be with anyone over 2 years and they don't commit to you fully with a marriage, right? I did it again because I said, okay, This is what it is. He taking good care of me. He's a provider. This is what it is. You have to understand my background and to understand why I put up with that for monetary reasons, nothing else, right? And all that will be outlined in my book. But this is, and you know, my friends, most of my friends probably don't even know this, and they would probably look at me like, really, Jackie? Because they know that's not my personality. But I'm telling you, I'm giving you me. That's why I did that, you know, because I didn't want to have to struggle anymore. And I remember when I was thinking about, you know, not being with him, you know, the house was mine. It was in my name, thank God. My daughter said to me, she said, Ma, you was making it before him. You could make it without him. Step out on faith. My child told me that. That's because I've been pouring into her and she was able to pour back into me, right? Narcissism is real, y'all. I would suggest anybody that you look that up and see if it entails what you're going through. Now, let me say this. I told you about the love bombing. They don't really want you, but they don't want nobody else to have you either. That is why they keep hovering around you and you keep getting sucked back in. Because I'm telling you, the moment that I would think, okay, I'm free, I done shook it, then here he would come again. I remember one time I had some furniture in the layaway. I had some chairs, 2 recliner chairs, some big ones, right? A living room set. And he said, when he came back, that time I told you I opened the door for him, when he came back, he said, I will pay for all of the furniture for you. You know, this is what they do. They come back. They're very grandiose within themselves, but they come back with gifts, with money, with something big, something that you want. They like you when you're vulnerable. They like you when you're vulnerable, right? When you're needy, when you need something. And that's what they do, right? And it says here, they want to control you, and every time you break free and look like you're going to start somewhere else, they'll come in and disrupt that and then leave again. So once they latch on to you, they're on to you. Now, let me tell you something. He is with a woman now that he cheated with. Old raggedy cockeyed woman, right? He's still with her. And that's because she's very, very needy. Very, very needy, right? Now, this is what I must say. He never needed money from me, and sex was not an issue. He wanted attention and validation. So he got with that other woman because I'm sure she gave him praises all the time, right? And he did, being with me, he would have to share the praise. You know, he would have to share the praise. His friends became my friends. I love them. They love me. His family became my family. I love them. They love me, right? And a narcissist has a fear of being insignificant or worthless, right? They require a lot of attention. And like, I didn't know this, you know, I was being a woman to him, but I didn't know that he required all that attention. I knew he liked it. Whenever we went somewhere, he wanted the attention to be on him, or he wanted to be around the people that's getting the attention, right? And so they will use money to get back into your life. I said that before. That's what they use. Money, gifts, things, right? And you may say, well, Jackie, that's materialistic. I was a materialistic person. I may still be, right? But I know how to get my own things. But at that time, I was tired of the struggle, right? They cannot love you back. That's very important to remember. They will never, ever be able to love you back. They don't have the capacity for that. Right? So these are 7 tactics that the narcissist does when you're done. They behave like the relationship is not over. And that is how my ex acts. They behave like the relationship is not over. They will ignore your request to be distant, right? He tried to find out where I lived. I guess he was going to try to get down here, when I lived in Charlotte, you know. They will never change their behavior. Let me tell y'all something. As a woman who believes in God, I would pray about it, right? Nothing helped. You know, we would pray together. Listen, y'all, when I think about this, I'm like, I was living with a demon, because I'm going to go into details like I said in my book, but it was quite evident now when I look back on it. At the time, I just thought, you know, I'm a good person. Why can't he be a good person? Why can't, you know, I thought it would rub off. I didn't get it, right? They send gifts. They may apologize, they may not. They use indirect manipulation. Indirect manipulation is if they cool with your mama, they're going to tell your mama, you know, I showed Miss Jackie or your son or your friend. Like now he uses my friend. He uses my friend because they're close. Actually, my best friend I met from him. So he uses her, right? They fake vulnerability or sickness. Like I said, he would morph into whoever he needed to be. And I should have, I'll put that part in my book. I should have known though, because of his prior history, right? They will create drama, which is what he did. They will create drama to get a reaction. They like to upset you, anything to connect to you. So they like negative connection more than they like positive connection. Because he had the positive. I could never figure it out. Like every time we having a good time, he would ruin the good time. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, right? Y'all, this is the weirdest shit. Like I said, I did not know he was a narcissist. Had I known at the time I was with him, I would have been ended that. But I thought he would get better. Like most women, he gonna change. It never happened, right? And I didn't want to let go of the finances. They are major manipulators, and you cannot go to their level, which is what I learned later on. You know, because I would argue, you know, with shit. You know, like I didn't understand, right? I did not understand. But once I stopped arguing with him, seems like he changed, right? But by that time, I didn't want him anymore. I didn't want him anymore. This is what you need to do if you're with a narcissist. Love yourself. Love you. Like, period. Whether you're with a narcissist or not. Let me tell you what I know the key to life is. Drinking plenty of water. Right? And love yourself. Love yourself. The reason why, as women, I can only speak from a woman's perspective, that we end up in these bad relationships and stay is because we have low self-esteem. That's number one. Or we're vulnerable. And men prey on, men are predatory creatures anyway. They prey on the vulnerable. They prey on the weak. They prey on the needy, right? Affirm yourself. You know, Mary J got a song right now that she's saying, good morning, beautiful. She get up every morning and tell herself, good morning, beautiful, right? Increase your self-esteem, however you have to do that. And don't allow that person access to you. Like when you block them, mean it. Mean it. No contact. And like I said, ever since I've been researching, like I blocked him last year whenever I did. Ever since then, I will not unblock. Because I had blocked him when I first moved. Then I unblocked him because he had something to tell me or something. You know, you had 10 years to tell me everything you needed to tell me and show me everything you needed to show me, right? I'm no longer interested. But now that I've been doing my research about narcissism, I realize this shit is serious. This is a thing, right? This is a thing. And you don't want to get trapped up in that, right? You don't want to get trapped up in that. And it's easy as a woman, especially if you have kids, to get trapped into a lot of relationships, right? Because you think there's no way out or you think this is the best thing right now. And this is coming from a strong woman, you know, and I'm shocked at myself that I fell into that, right? I got myself out. Let me tell you something. One day I went crying to my mother. And she didn't give me the response I wanted. She said, you let him take your power. Didn't understand that at the time, right? Because that ain't what I want to hear. I don't understand it because that ain't what I want to hear from you right now. She said, get your power back. Now then. Once I got my power back, he said it. He said it. He told me, right? He told me. So I'm saying this, y'all. I'm going to talk about narcissism a lot, you know, from time to time because, like I said, when I'm reading on it and listening to therapists or pastors or whoever I listen to or people that have been involved in that, it almost brings me to tears because I was in that. Thank God I was strong enough to leave. Thank God I did all the stuff they say to do before I knew what to do. I did what came naturally to me, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I thank God that I took all the necessary steps and did what I needed to do. Because let me tell y'all something. I could have been me. It could have went a whole nother way, right? But I just felt like, again, I'm trying to be a better Jackie. Every day I wake up, I want to be a better Jackie than I was the day before. I can't do that if I'm doing some mean, cruel shit, which I could easily do, right? So I had to think and use my head and my heart instead of something else to get out of that situation, right? So anyway, y'all, again, subscribers, my new subscribers, welcome to the Jack Squad. Share me with your friends and family. I talk about reality. I talk about what's going on, current events, pop culture, my dating stories, whatever's going on, I talk about, right? Any suggestions? I do listen. Drop down in the description, in the comments, and let me know. Like I said, I'm a new YouTuber, so I don't know everything. I'm learning this as I go. I appreciate you. Everything won't be heavy. I really like to talk about funny shit, right? But that was been weighing on my heart, to talk about that, because there's somebody out there that needs to know. Somebody out there that's with a narcissist and don't know that they with one, or they with one and don't know how to break away, or they with one and don't have enough self-esteem to break away, right? Because there's no goodness going to come from it. I don't care what they're doing for you. There's no goodness going to come from it. And once I realized, I wanted to be in love, right? That's what I wanted. And that was not love. And at first I said, well, maybe I'll just deal with this the rest of my life. I really thought that, y'all, and I'm being honest. Shit, you doing everything. I ain't got to worry about shit. I ain't got to worry about nothing. But I wanted to be in love, right? And it took me a long while, I'm going to say maybe a year, I can't really remember, to get him out, right? In an effective way, because I didn't want to be cruel to him, and I didn't want to be mean to him, because he had, all this time that we were together, he had his own place, but he always came to my house. And then he lost his place, right? And so now I felt trapped. This was like a year before it was over, really, really over. I was like, oh shit, I felt trapped, right? So I tried to help him find a place. Let me tell y'all what he did one time. I went and got some applications. This is how crazy he was. I went and got some applications, and I left them on the dining room table. He filled one of them out in crayon. Blue crayon. That meant, fuck this. That's what that meant, right? And like I said, once him and his friends moved all this stuff in, I felt doomed. I was like, oh shit, I'm trapped now. All those years, I didn't feel it because he had his own place. He'd go home if he wanted to. I was like, oh shit, right? And that's when I started, he's got to go. So I didn't want to just, okay, you got to go and just put him out, because he'd been so good to me. Shit, hell, he bought the damn house, the furniture, cars. I just didn't, my conscience wouldn't allow me to do that, right? So I started trying to assist him. When I realized he didn't want no assistance, I said, okay. All right. So then I started, some months later, I got some totes and started packing his stuff up, washing it and packing it very neatly. I'll tell y'all about that later. Anyway, y'all, that just threw me off. I just had a flashback. Anyway, y'all, thanks for watching Jackie with a Q. Like I said, share me. Welcome subscribers. If you can donate to my channel, please do. Be safe out there. The corona's spreading and changing and varying. Listen, y'all, and I keep hearing people say this is here to stay. I just don't believe that shit. I don't believe that God gonna make me stay in the house the rest of my goddamn life. No, I don't believe that, right? So anyway, y'all, thanks for watching Jackie with a Q, and everybody be safe. Oh, I'm going live tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Hope all go well, because I ain't did it in months. So I'm going live tomorrow at 6 o'clock, y'all. See y'all there. And the topic will be, what do black men want? So if I have any black men subscribers, let us know. Jump in, feel free, because that's why I'm doing a live, because I want to know, what you guys think. Like, I have friends all over the country, right? And we have these same issues. And so one of my girlfriends called me. A couple of my girlfriends have told me we need to talk about this. So, this is what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about it live at 6 o'clock. And that'll be today's Saturday. That'll be tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Okay, guys? All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.